Hello, everyone, and welcome to Todd's Tips. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year from your favorite voiceover talents. I think we're your favorite voiceover talents. I don't know if you really are or not. Maybe we're not. I don't even go there in my mind.
No,
shouldn't even do it. Anyway,
just be a legend in your own mind.
I'm a giant in my own mind. Yeah. So anyway, like I said, Todd's Tips. Let's jump into them here.
We've been giving do's and don'ts, and we're going to continue to do that as kind of the theme of Todd's Tips. Like I said before, there are just so many of them that I'm just going with that theme. And every single week, I've promised that I'm going to put these caveats. Demond, who's our producer, go ahead and stick those there, because there's just some things that make me unique and you unique. And so these don't necessarily apply to every single person exactly as I'm saying them. On the other hand, I think I've got enough years in the business and enough years in life to at least have a little bit of experience in the voiceover and life world. And so maybe just take a little step back and see if there isn't something that you can apply to your voiceover business. That's the point of these do's and don'ts. And so this one might, maybe it won't be controversial at all. I'm certainly not trying to be. I'm just trying to tell you what I do and don't. And so in my mind, it's not controversial. In your mind, it might be. And you might not like some of the things I say, but you can comment or ask questions. We've had a gentleman ask a question that we're going to handle during the numbers portion.
Yeah, emailed us.
Yep. And so we'll do that. And so we'll try to handle your questions as best we can. But here's my first, my do and don't for today's Todd's Tips. I don't give my money or my best ear, I'll call it my best ear, to VO coaches who won't share their VO numbers. Not coaching numbers, not demo producing numbers, not any other numbers than their voiceover numbers. I don't give my money or my best ear to voiceover coaches who won't share their voiceover numbers. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I don't listen to and even learn from VO coaches who don't or won't share their VO numbers with potential students. Like myself, I consider myself a potential student. And there's a lot of voiceover coaches, mentors, and gurus out there who are hawking their wares. And some of them, I think, are fine people. I don't question their motives or anything. But nevertheless, if they don't share their specific numbers, I don't know how their information and their teaching, how successful that will be for me. And so I've got to know those types of things. But the point being is I still listen to them and I still learn. And I can and do learn from all sorts of people, especially in voiceover. But there's lots of voiceover related things. Just one quick illustration. I mean, there's lots of times where you and your brothers, you don't know as much about voiceover as I do, but you know more about the internet. You know more about social media. You know more about computers and phones and software. And so there's lots of voiceover related things that I'm kind of a child. I just need a lot of help. And so, again, don't get me wrong. But the point being is I don't want somebody to sit there and tell me all of the do's and don'ts of your great VO wisdom and expect me to part money with my hard-earned money if you won't share your numbers. That's just what I do and don't. I just won't do that. I'm not going to do it. Nope. As the saying goes, I was born at night, but it wasn't last night. I've been around the block many times in life, and I've been around the VO industry for 13 years. You got to woo me and win me with more than just your wit and wisdom. Tell me something like, you can't be a pro and work on Fiverr. You'll ruin your career chasing, quote, hamburger money, and I'll give you almost $400,000 reasons why you're wrong. Tell me I've got to have a pro demo, get trained by a, quote, reputable industry standard coach, whatever that means, and have agents, and I'll tell you to sell your stuff to somebody else, because I just don't buy into that mindset. There's a lot of people that are selling that. So if you don't tell me your VO numbers, I'm not going to part with my money and I'm not going to give you my best year. When somebody, and here's just another little caveat. If somebody comes up to me and says, hey, listen, I'm new, and last year I made $25,000, but this year I'm going to make $52,000. I go, whoa, they don't have to make as much as I make. You've grown your VO business. And so I want to hear what people are doing to grow their VO business, because that's what I want to do. So it doesn't mean that you have to make over $335,000 a year.
That, by the way, that's how much you made. It's not as a bragging point, but that's, I mean, there's not many people in the industry that make that much money.
Correct.
For voiceover.
Correct.
And so, like you said, it's going to have to take some wooing for you to stop doing what you're doing or add something to it.
Right.
That's going to benefit you so much, because you've got 335,000 reasons this year.
Right.
That's your thing, that yours works.
Correct. Yep.
And so that's
what I'm saying.
I'm taking those things, hopefully other people are, and saying, wow, okay, maybe Todd doesn't have all these things, pro demo, agents, stuff like that.
Fancy
website. Yeah. But he's doing something right, because how do you don't make $335,000 by accident. So anyway, I just want to make that clear.
Yeah.
That's how much you made this year, a record-setting year for you.
And I don't bring that up to throw that in anybody's face. I don't bring it up. I bring it up only for an encouragement, and to say that somebody doesn't have to make that much as a VO coach for me to listen to them. I'll listen to them. In fact, I'll listen to them even if I listen to a lot of people, even if you don't give your VO numbers, because there's a lot of smart people out there and there's a lot that I can learn.
And the industry is changing, and other things are coming and going.
I want to stay up with it. But the point being is if you're asking me to part with my money and do things differently, then I want to know your numbers. And again, it might be that you're an upcoming person that's doing things differently that I need to learn from. You've gone from $50,000 to $125,000 in the last year and a half. And I'm going, whoa, that's great growth. How are you doing that?
Yeah.
And if you're doing it differently from me, I'm going to just think about that. I'm not going to say, well, you can't teach me anything because I make more money. That's not the point at all. The point is I think there's transparency and accountability that needs to go on in our industry. And I think that starts with people sharing their money, what they make. And I know some people say that's nobody's business. And I say, yes, it is their business, because you're asking them to show you their money as a coach. So why aren't you going to show your money to them?
And you're paying them your hard-earned money.
Exactly.
So if there's somebody that's not reputable, or they have a fair amount of followers, but they never tell you how much they make, how do you know they're not making a ton of money off of another person like you? You know what I'm saying? And that's not
very good chance they are
to scare anybody or anything like that. I had another thought, but I can't remember.
Yeah, and so again, you've got to do what you got to do. I know I talk to a lot of voiceover talent, and they have multiple coaches. They're very happy with them. And if they're causing you to be successful, super. Stay with them, no problem. I don't offer coaching services, so I'm not in this to have you come and use my coaching services. I'm not saying I'm never going to not coach. I think I will maybe eventually coach. But one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to set a track record of many years of making a certain amount of money, so that people would say, he's got to be, it's not a flash in the pan. It's not a one and done. It's not 1 year where you make $110,000 or $125,000 and then the next year you're back down because now you're coaching all the time. You still might have something to offer. That's not the point. But the point is I've already.
And how awesome to have somebody who's not a coach, who doesn't get paid to be a coach, who makes a lot of money in just voiceover, give you kind of some truth to mull over that you'd have to pay some other coach to give you that advice. You know what I'm saying?
They're asking, yes, I do. They're asking for your money, but they're also asking for you to go on a direction in your career and in your business that may or may not be right. But you've got to be able to prove that. And you might be able to prove it by other students that say, oh, I'm successful. But again, tell me what successful is. And I know it's more than just money, but money does tell you a lot about, is this person doing the right things to stay in business and increase their business and grow their business year over year?
Yeah.
Enough preaching. We've had enough of it.
Yeah. Todd owns.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We talk about the
Clickbait.
thumbnails, clickbait stuff, and we don't do that. Maybe it would get us more views, but we just
We're
don't.
not interested in that.
Yeah, we're not interested in
trying to
tell
maybe
you what
we do and don't do.
Yeah.
That's
anyway, thanks for watching that. Hopefully you're out from behind the covers now. And and next up we've got our numbers. And I don't know what you're gonna do. I'll probably have my full year in review for how much I made. Maybe you won't.
I won't, because I usually wait till the first couple of weeks of January, because I have some residual stuff and I want to calculate it all up. Okay. And plus, I still have quite a few jobs yet to do this year. So
I guess I'll wait then too, just to do it when you do it. I thought about doing it, but anyway, yeah, we'll have our numbers in our next video. So join us for that next. Are you dying to see more content like that? Check out the video over here or subscribe over here. Thanks.